You are Locked On Hurricanes Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, Cane fans? Yeah, baby. Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, and this is your Canes Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Pause for dramatic effect. How about 49-12? Hey, I just want to point out that when I did my preview show with Alex Dono on Friday, I said 55-13. 55-13 was my prediction. Ends up being 49-12. I just did not see the University of South Florida Bulls having anything that they could do up front on either side of the ball against the Miami Hurricanes offensive and defensive lines. It definitely played out that way. And even though Carson Beck got picked off 2 times in this game, and we'll talk more about that, they weren't really his fault. And, you know, they were his fault because he threw them. But what I mean is he was hit on one of them. One of them was tipped by Toney on a ridiculous play when it wasn't even intended for him. But Beck throws for 3, runs for 1. Fletcher runs for 2. 100-yard game for him. DB's flying all over the field on that side of the ball. Corey Heatherman's unit is playing lights out. 49-12. 3-0 for Miami. This game was never close. They scored on their first 2 drives. And, of course, we had the 1 hour and 42-minute weather delay. Gotta love South Florida during hurricane season. Might not see Alex Dono on the show today because he's hosting network radio postgame. And with the delay, everything just got bananas with him. But we will be doing a show together every week. And we will have the squad shows coming up soon. Myself, Alex, and a former player. As we bring you wall-to-wall coverage, the best. Alex is the best in the whole entire country, covering with Locked On Canes day to day. And then, of course, the postcast after the games. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, longtime Miami sportscaster, class of 96 at the U. So proud to see the domination on both sides of the ball up front. Big improvement each week from this team. 3-0 against a previously undefeated South Florida team that had blown out Boise State and beaten Florida in the cesspool, the swamp. And, of course, the Canes play the Gators next week. We are just getting started. It's your Canes Postcast. Thank you for making us your first watch or listen every day. Myself and Alex, give us a sub. Give us, you know what I mean? Hit that bell so you know when we're coming your way with more content. And come on in. Come on in and talk to each other in the chat. You can talk to me, too. I might be able to get to them. They're going so fast. But after the live YouTube show right after the game, we upload, you download. Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, and, of course, you're down with OTT. Yeah, you know me. Roku. We're free there as well. 49-12, Cane fans. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Let's get rolling with your postcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team, baby, every single day.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Baby, Carson Beck with a monumental performance again for the Miami Hurricanes. Touchdown passes on the first 2 drives. And hello to our guy, man. What a game for Josh Moore, the freshman. Toney and Moore, both freshmen. Are you kidding me? CJ Daniels had another big game. Keelan Marion emerging into the spotlight as Carson Beck spreads the ball around the field. Carson with a huge game today, 23 of 28, 340, 3 touchdowns, had the 2 picks. One of them, he was hit as he threw it all the way back across his body. Still almost got it over the outstretched defender's arms, who made a brilliant play to intercept the ball. And then on another one where, man, Malachi Toney went way up in the air and literally looked like Spider-Man up there, got his finger on the ball, tipped it on a pass that was not even intended for him, cost his quarterback an interception by being a freak athlete. Also had a big punt return. Man, he reminds me of Santana Moss and Roscoe Parrish, talking about Malachi Toney. And then, of course, you have Moore. What an unbelievable job by the Hurricanes today. Mark Fletcher Jr., 16 carries, $121, running like a beast, reminding me in a way of Najee Davenport, but even more so like a Derrick Henry or a Marshawn Lynch, 225-pound freight train, Jamal Lewis even. Get out of the way, get off the tracks. Here comes Mark Fletcher Jr., and Miami just putting it to South Florida. I mean, all the different receivers that caught balls, 6 for 61 for Marion. You know, Moore had the touchdowns on the first 2 drives of the game. It was 14-3 when you hit the weather delay because there was lightning within 8 miles of the stadium, which, of course, you have to do. They had a fumble, a hit and a fumble recovery by Chase Smith. They had an interception by Bryce Fitzgerald Jr., his second of the year. And what a job defensively. The defensive line all up in Byrum Brown's grill all night long. First interception he threw in 253 pass attempts went right to Bryce Fitzgerald Jr. on a tip ball when 3 Hurricanes met at the passer, converging on the quarterback, causing the pressure. And man, oh man, that defense, the secondary, they gave up one 58-yard pass, and that was it. They were flying all over that field today, popping those receivers, coming up to play the run in that 4-2-5 defense. Man, with Corey Heatherman looking really good out there. All phases getting better, nothing in the way of penalties. They dominated the stats in this game. Now, remember, this is the number 18 team in the country, and it's a Florida team coming in. But the stats, Miami, 27 first downs to 15 for USF. Think about that. Third downs, Miami, 7 of 11 on third down, 1 for 1 on fourth. They had another one taken away on a false start penalty when they were going for it again. So Mario doing a good job going for it on fourth down. 576 to 332, the yardage for Miami. And the passing game, 371 to 292. How about the rushing yards, 205 to 40? How about the time of possession, 3601 to 2359? Miami did end up with 9 penalties for 69 yards. A lot of that late after, and it's no excuse. Mario will say the same thing, no excuse, but sloppy play, losing focus late in the game in a blowout when you had an hour and 42-minute weather delay, right? But you know what I'm saying? It just was a beautiful game for Miami from start to finish. Offensively, defensively, we're going to see the special teams, I think. I really do. We're going to see that special teams really get better. Toney had a nice punt return. The field goal kicking game has been phenomenal as well. And as this audience continues to surge, I want to remind you to please, watching us live on YouTube right now, smash that subscribe, give us a like, hit the bell so you know when we're coming your way with more content as well. And come on into the chat. We'll try to get to some of your comments if we can. It really is tough because you have so many of you in there just going crazy after another big win. You got Bethune-Cookman out of the way. You got USF out of the way. But think about Notre Dame coming in. Think about USF coming in, and the poise of Carson Beck. He missed the spring, barely ready for the fall. Alex and I talked about this the other day. Again, I predicted 55-13. It's 49-12. Could have come true and come through for me. But big win, big cover for Miami. I said it on the show. I just knew that their offensive line, like a wall against those small defensive front players for USF. And then what I didn't expect to see as much of as I saw were those DBs, 7 new starters, right, flying around on defense. It starts with Bain and Mesidor coming off the edges. They love Moten inside, who doesn't play in the run, and also getting some push against the pass. But those DBs flying all over the field today. Different players coming through and making names for themselves throughout this game. And I made a list because I'm sitting there just laughing and just being excited. It reminds me of those 99 through 02 teams where you go 2-3 deep with the depth now. And with the portal, you have guys coming in from different schools from everywhere making plays. And, it really is, just fighting to get on the field at Miami. What an incredible job by this defense and just all over that field. So when I'm looking at these DBs just vying for that playing time and you're not seeing a drop off when they're making substitutions, Bain's in there. They didn't credit him for a sack, but he should have had at least a half of one. Had the 6 tackles, 1 for a loss. Mesidor had a half a sack, 6 tackles, but guys like Jacoby Thomas, guys like Chase Smith, guys all over the field just flying around. Booker Pickett Jr., shout out to Booker Pickett Sr. Booker Pickett Jr. had a big hit in this game tonight, and just so many. Zachariah Poyser out there making some plays and flying all over the field. Just to name a few, the linebackers did a real good job against Byrum Brown, not letting him get out of the pocket much tonight. He's an elite 2-way quarterback, extremely experienced, and he did not look it tonight as they held Byrum Brown. One of the worst games he's had as a starting quarterback there, if not the worst. 20 of 36, 274, a touchdown and a pick, and rushing, he had 13 carries for 2 yards, and that's a bad game for USF. So Miami forcing 3 and outs, putting the heat on that USF defense, wearing them down. I don't know if that even mattered as much with the precision of Carson Beck and that passing game. All right, Jim Greasehaber, call me. Grease, going to take a quick break. I'm not going anywhere. Neither are you. 49-12, Miami the win. They go to 3-0 at number 5 in the country. Florida coming in next week. Then on the road, first road game of the year at FSU. 2 games from now, and that one's after a bye week. So you hit Florida next week, and you go through them, and you get to 4-0 before the bye. You got the first road game coming up at FSU, and you go from there. All right, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Got a couple of sponsors that love talking to you, man. This is prize real estate to get in here and have a commercial in the show talking to you, the great Miami Hurricane fans on the Locked On Podcast Network. So I got a couple of deals to tell you about from a couple of great companies, and then we roll on with your turning point. We roll on with your stars of the game. We get you ready for next week against those Gators, and of course, you never know what else you're going to see in here, right here on your Canes Postcast. And if we can get Alex Dono in here, we will. But for now, let's just revel in that 49-12 win. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Yeah, baby, and I get a chance to tell you about the fine folks and the great cars at Mazda. How about this, right? Mazda, you know Mazda for so long now, been an iconic brand here in the US of A, and I've driven them, you've driven them probably, you know what I'm saying? So here we go. You can just move through life, or you can find the things that move you. It's your choice. You can choose to get out there, choose your people. You can choose to go for it, like really go for it. Just choose to do something that moves you. Mazda crafts cars for those who choose to do more than simply move. Mazda, move and be moved on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And oh, look out, guys. The ladies are going to love this one, and I do too. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to front. Hey, come on. In a city like Miami, we're all fashion forward and design forward, right? The weather's cooling down. The days are getting shorter, and that has me wanting to make my home feel even cozier. I love making my home feel cozy, and when it comes to cozifying your space this fall, Wayfair is the place to go. Wayfair has everything you need to set the mood for the season, whether it's comfy recliners, warm bedding, autumn decor, or even an espresso machine. How about that? So you can make your favorite latte at home while you watch the Hurricanes whip ass all season long. I recently picked up an outdoor patio set from Wayfair, man. I love it. I love to sit out and just look at that beautiful water, feel that South Florida breeze. Like, you throw a little blanket on there, a little throw pillow as well, and it's completely transformed my outdoor space and my living. I love the variety with Wayfair. They have options for every single style and budget, so you don't have to compromise. And never mind the ladies. Oh, the ladies, they love Wayfair. Do not get that twisted at all. They have options, every style, every budget. You don't have to compromise. The delivery, fast, free, hassle-free, which is really important, and it makes a huge difference when you're refreshing your home. It's the perfect time right now in the fall getting here to set up your home so you can enjoy cozy nights with family and friends. Yes, even in South Florida. Cozify your space with Wayfair's curated collection of easy, affordable fall updates. From comfy recliners and cozy bedding and autumn decor, you'll find it all for way less at Wayfair.com. That's Wayfair, Wayfair, Wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style, every home with Wayfair on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And one more real quick for you. We're going to tell you a little bit about Square. And just waiting for this one to load here, guys. Give me just 1 second, and we'll be done having fun in the sun. There we go. This episode brought to you by Square. Your favorite neighborhood spots run on Square. That's right. There are certain businesses that truly make the neighborhood feel like home, whether it's the local sports bar packed on game days, right? Or the coffee shop that knows your order by heart. Maybe it's the corner deli that's been serving your community for decades. Forget about it. These are the places that bring people together. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood, it thrives. You know what I'm saying? Local spot in your neighborhood that you love. How about some of those great local spots? Think of the neighborhood spots in South Florida that have been there for so long, right? Think of those places you go where everyone's in team colors cheering on the Dolphins. Oh, God, the Dolphins. Dolphins postcast tomorrow, by the way. But the energy is incredible. It feels like the entire block is there cheering together. The block is hot, baby. And that makes the local spot feel like home. It's the kind of place where you walk in, everybody knows your name. The staff are like family, and they've been serving this community for years. Spending money there doesn't just support the business, it supports the people behind it and the community around it. That's right. These local spots are what make the neighborhood feel like home, and so many of them run on Square. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/go/lockedoncollege to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. Square. See you in the neighborhood on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Bang. You ready? Let's get it popping in here. What do you say? The Miami Hurricanes with a big-time statement win today. They stomped on Notre Dame to start the season. They've been able to sustain long drives on offense, mixing it up, the pass, the run. Fletcher asserting himself in the backfield. Marty Brown had himself a decent game. I'll tell you what, Marty Brown, really good with the blitz pickups too. Very, very good with the blitz pickups. All right, so the Canes, 14 in the first, 14 in the second. 3 in each of those quarters for the Bulls. So it was 28-6 at half, 7 in the third for Miami, and 14 in the fourth for the Canes, 6 for the Bulls. They got their first touchdown late, got denied on the two-pointer, broken up by Bryce Fitzgerald Jr., maybe one of the stars of the game. We will have to see. But the Canes dominate. They just made Byrum Brown look like he was not Byrum Brown out there today. One of the best two-way quarterbacks in the country. They blew out Boise State. They beat Florida, 2 ranked teams that are undefeated coming in, and they look like they did not belong on the same field as the Miami Hurricanes today. Carson Beck, 23 of 38, 340, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he also ran one in. Mark Fletcher Jr., 16 for 121, 3 touchdowns for Fletcher on the day. And I will tell you what, man, that was absolutely an incredible performance by the Miami Hurricanes in this game, going to 3-0, blowing out a team that came in looking like they were going to give Miami a game, and a tough one at that. But not if you listened to me before when I told Alex Dono that the Miami Hurricanes would win 55-13. Ends up being 49-12, which I could sit here for days and talk about those picks, obviously. But look at all this orange and green. It's football season. We're back. Do I say it? Dare I say it? We are back, Canes Nation. We are back because we dominate both sides of the line of scrimmage up front, because we go too deep at every position while doing it, because DBs are deep and flying all over the field with that devastating speed. Carson Beck is an elite signal caller, a stable of wide receivers. He spreads around too with the tight ends and the backs. We are back. The defense has been rectified. The entire staff, as they should have, got fired after last season. They bring in Corey Heatherman everywhere he goes. He's got that magic touch, and he's brought it to Miami. So you got the Gators next week, and then after that, Florida State on the road. SMU, they've already lost a game, ACC championship. We will talk as the weeks go by more about those. But for now, we got some things to do here on the show. Canes Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We're live on YouTube right after every game. And then after the YouTube show, which, by the way, while you're here, give us a like, a subscribe, hit that bell so you know when we're coming your way with more content, and have some fun in the chat room with each other. If I can get in there and read a couple, I will, but they go so fast and there's so many of you. So that's a nice feature for you to talk to each other. Great Canes fans watching me here. But 49-12, the final. Couple things to do in a short time to do them in. But remember, it's the podcast and the postcast. It's YouTube, it's Roku. And then, of course, after we finish the live YouTube, it is right up to the audio platforms. So Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever you get the audio version of your podcast. What do you say we hit the benchmarks? When was this game won?
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
The bunnies, those wanting money. Come on now. There you go, StreamYard. All right, look at Josh Moore. Coming out party for the freshman. 2 touchdowns on the opening 2 drives of this game. A big 38-yarder, and what a catch going up in the air and holding on to it in spite of a DB hitting his arms on the way down, and a 12-yard, 8-yarder as well for him. It's 8 and 39 were the touchdown receptions for Moore. And then how about this for the turning point? These are the moments. Look at Carson Beck up there. Here's the turning point. Josh Moore, TD passes on the Hurricanes' first 2 drives of the game. Look at Beck in the background. Arms up, baby. Arms up. He barely got touched tonight, but he made some runs where it was a little reckless. He actually got blasted on the right shoulder a couple of times, did Carson Beck. But, man, you love it when your quarterback lowers the shoulder and smashes into defenders, pops right back up, runs to the huddle, and throws a touchdown pass. And that's what Carson Beck has brought to this team. Don't sleep on his running ability, which brings me to...
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Oh, we got a few. Do we want to start with our defensive player of the game? How about our guy, Bryce Fitzgerald Jr., with another interception, 2 on the season now, and he broke up the 2-point conversion attempt when it was 49-12 to keep it where it was. Look at him out there with a bright, bright future at the University of Miami. There is Bryce Fitzgerald Jr. How about another star of the game today? He didn't have huge numbers, but he didn't need to. He took the soul from USF early in this game with touchdown receptions on balls thrown by Carson Beck. It is, and it was the coming out party today for Joshua Moore. 2 for 47. The 2 touchdowns had the 39-yarder and the 8-yarder. Look at him scampering into the end zone there. Got to hurry, grease, and get through 2 more players of the game. Here's one more. The tailback from Fort Lauderdale, 225 pounds, 3 touchdowns. 121 yards for Mark Fletcher Jr. Look at the size of that hole. Good God almighty. Look at the size of that hole. Our offensive line is one of the best I've ever seen at the University of Miami, which brings me to the guy who holds it all together, the glue, Carson Beck. Yeah, big game for Beck again, man. 23 of 28, 340, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the ground. Carson Beck, are you ready? 6 carries, 28 yards, a 4.7 average, and a rushing touchdown. Almost had a second one. Late in the game, got hit at the 1. Then they had a false start. A Fletcher touchdown got taken away, and Beck threw another touchdown pass, which was pretty awesome when you think about it. And Brown caught one out of the backfield. So the Miami Hurricanes just sticking it to and all over the South Florida Bulls coming down from Tampa, getting a whooping, as Bernie Mac used to say, at Hard Rock Stadium. Look at Hard Rock Stadium, packed to the rafters again. Look at Moore with the touchdown, and your and my Miami Hurricanes are 3-0, number 5 in the country. Probably not going to move up, maybe to number 4 if anywhere, but who cares, man? The Bulls had blown out Boise State. They had beaten the Florida Gators. Miami did everything we told you they needed to do to win this game. Alex and I, when we had the preview on Friday, we'll do it again this week. And don't forget, every single week right after the game, we're live with the postcast on YouTube. Then we upload, you download Apple, iHeart, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and then Roku. You download OPP. Oh, wait, no, it's OTT. Yeah, I'm 53. It's OTT these days. Besides the South Beach days, that was the OPP. Now it's OTT. It's over-the-top television. It's Roku, and we are free there as well. And before we let you go, want to remind you that next week's game's a flex game against the Gators, which will be a home game, but it could be 3:30 or 4:30 kickoff. Could be between 6 and 8 p.m. kickoff as well. It still says TBD. It is a flex, just like the Canes are a flex, taking on the Gators. So we'll be here right after that game next week with the postcast, and of course have the segment with Alex Dono on the podcast, Locked On Canes, that we do every week together, where I predicted 55-13 Miami on Friday. Now it's 49-12. The Canes dominate USF, looking like a real polished football team, like a real, and they're going to get better, like a team that's going to be there. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be competing for a championship at the end, starting to get that feel. I don't want to get way too far ahead of myself, but it is starting to get that feel. I also have a feel, and I got to get out of here, guys, but I also have a feel for this other big moment in the history of Locked On. What a feeling means believing. Yeah, college football fans, Locked On and Fire TV present to you College Football Kickoff. Now, it is your ultimate college football weekly preview. It's Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leading a conversation next to 2-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. It's a college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season only on Fire TV. Of course, Alex day in and day out, myself, post-game with the postcasts. And, of course, the Dolphins play the Patriots tomorrow. Catch your boy right here with the postcast right after the Dolphins game. Yeah, throw up those U's, baby. Throw up those U's, and let's get it started in here. It doesn't matter where you are throughout the great state of Florida. Palm Beach, right on down, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Hollywood, wherever you are, Canes Nation, all over the country and the world. Let's go crazy tonight. 49-12 the final. Beck, Fletcher, the defense all over the field, and your and my Miami Hurricanes are 3-0. Thank you so much for being here. The gratitude is real. Love you and appreciate you so, so much. You guys are great, great fans, and you should be with the work that Alex does day in and day out on this platform. One more thing to say before I go, which is to remind you to always keep your game tight and your mind right, Hurricane fans. 49-12 the final. Miami is 3-0. I'm Jim Greashopper. Call me Grease, and I am out at Jim Grease _ on social media. GRIES. Give me a follow. Make you holla.